Hello and welcome from Manchester. Today we are visiting our customer, CARBOGEN AMCIS. They are using our software for test automation called Automated Boost. It is an executive automation engine enhanced with multiple functionalities for pharmacy, military and aviation.
My name is Sajid Gija. So I've been working with CARBOGEN AMCIS for over 20 years now. So my background is actually chemistry, so I'm a trained scientist. And for the last 2 years, I've actually worked within the IT business alignment group for CARBOGEN AMCIS. So I sort of aid the business areas, support areas really, and one of the projects I've been working on for the last few years has been the ERP implementation in Rio.
My name is Priscila Sansiviero. I worked CARBOGEN like a year ago, and I'm the test manager.
CARBOGEN AMCIS is a life science organization, so they look after the full life cycle of project delivery. So, working in small molecule area. So the company starts with development processes and can go to a commercial sort of arena of manufacturing drug products to commercial scale. So very much a pharmaceutical multinational organization with multiple sites and multiple continents now. So I think when we went on the process of the new 365 ERP implementation, very early on we did look at the validation sort of requirements and what that meant from a business position in terms of testing resource really.
The goal is like take out the repetitive testing for the people and do more testing in its more time, so we can also produce now or test all the process that you have either for the implementation and also for maintenance after.
Actually, automation is the way to go really, to really sort of make the whole cycle of implementation cheaper for us, but also robust, I think, really. One of the key sort of components of the testing is reporting, and I think that the reporting generation really helps us, and we were fortunate to have the ability to really look at automation as a tool to help us in the validation cycle. And from a cost-benefit ratio, automation was infinitely cheaper than assigning resources to the cycle of validation really. The role-based assessment is really useful because it means that we can do testing at a role-based level to make sure that when we're reporting it's specific, we report back specifically which role was doing what test really, which is really important from the validation position really. And to report all that back in a nice report is, it's what we need really. Priscilla, our test manager, would really get a firm understanding of the business requirements from a testing position really, all the risk assessment, etc., to make sure that what needs to be tested is tested. Once we understand what tests we want to be running, we can formulate that into test script within Automated Boost really. A testing cycle, it might mean revising some existing tests, for example, if we have changed the business process or if we have a new role, then we need to modify our test.
But basically what we build in the Automated Boost, you do the end-to-end process. You want to have the process that can execute standalone. So we create the data. That's really important because we can either refresh the environment in the future or whatever, or change the environment so you can test, so you create all the pre-hacks.
So we look after the full life cycle of testing from start to finish once the system is refreshed from production to be able to run the full test really. We've used Automated Boost for a few things now. Validations for our sort of system validation is the key. I guess the initial reason that we entered into the Automated Boost and the reason we purchased the tool. From there, obviously we do all our validation studies, but we've also expanded our use for some automation now.
We have 2 sites in France that we are doing. We have one implemented. Now you are in the phase of the implementation of the second one. For this only one site, we have 200 scripts or test cases. But inside this test case, you have many subscripts that will be around 2,000 scripts.
Very early on, when we did release cycle 1, we used AB for our data migration validation. So we were able to load our Excel spreadsheets with all the data that we wanted to be verified. We created some scripts to show which fields need to look, and then all the conditional checks to be able to make sure that, you know, is the value as expected really. We had for certain migration, if I remember correct, we had to validate something like 250 lines, you see. So we loaded 250 lines as the Excel, and then the script does all the validation ultimately and creates the report, which again is the key benefit of the validation. So that really helped us when we did our sort of first release. We've also recently looked at the automation for journal transfers. So we needed to do over 9,000 warehouse item transfers, and because of financial constraints, we couldn't transfer the data any other way apart from transactions, you know, as journal transactions. Doing the transaction manually would have taken us weeks, months possibly. So we did create some scripts within Automate Boost, and you know, we ended up with something like 35 workers handling something like 300 scripts each for all the journal transfers, and it was really successful. We were able to do the work within one day really. You know, we had some warnings that we flagged as part of our scripts to make sure we do understand if there were some certain failures. And I think we ended up with something like 400 lines, which we eventually needed to manually just re-verify or recheck. But you know, almost 8,500, 9,000 items were transferred from one warehouse to the other, which was a real success. So. For me to really understand A/B, to really get a firm understanding of the advanced usage of A/B, to really help us with our business processes and to really make our scripts more efficient in a way. You know, that would be a real, you know, that is almost a tool for training really, you know, because we've got our business processes. It shows exactly the person where to click for what they need to click really, and how we can use that and utilize that data for training. We can parameterize a lot more of our scripts to remove duplicate scripting, for example, purchase order creation, trying to remove and make more central, you know, to really bring some efficiency to our sort of scripting. I think from a tool and testing position, really looking at other opportunities for where we can potentially automate and potentially bring some value to the business really.
If you are facing issues with testing, which makes your business users occupied for most of the time, contact us so we can inspire you by showing test automation tools to fit the needs.